Hello, everyone. News Channel 3, Chief Meteorologist Keith Thompson here with a Facebook Live update on this Wednesday. Man, am I all messed up with my days. On this Wednesday evening, hope everybody's had a good evening so far. It was a bit of a tumultuous weather day yet again, thanks to the snow. And now we have a bit of a break, but the break is about to come to an end. As we have some more snow that's going to be coming up overnight. I'm going to squeeze this forward so we can get right to the agenda that we have here. Weather alert days, plural, weather alert days, not only tomorrow, which, by the way, we, meaning the weather team, we're going to issue a weather alert for Friday and Saturday because of the extreme cold, dangerously cold, by the way. Don't use that word very often, dangerously cold. It definitely is worthy of use for this situation. So that was already on the plans, basically. That was going to be announced tonight or this evening at 5 on News Channel 3 that we were going with a weather alert day for Friday and Saturday. But then after going over some of the data coming in for the overnight tonight through Thursday morning commute, added another weather alert day. So we have 3 weather alert days now. Tomorrow, mainly for snow, primarily in the morning, but blowing snow as well. So a snowy AM commute. And then for Friday and Saturday, for super cold air that's going to be moving in. Friday is going to be very cold. Friday night, Saturday morning, maybe record-setting cold. And not out of the question, I don't think it's likely, but not out of the question, historically cold. So we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. Fortunately, by the way, we're going to have blowing snow and gusty wind tomorrow. The winds start to die down a bit on Friday. It's still going to be really cold and breezy on Friday. But fortunately, Saturday, Sunday, which are also 2 very cold days, especially Saturday, the wind will be fairly light. Chelsea, hello to you. Mike, always good to see you here. Happy hump day to you too. Thanks. Hope everybody is staying warm for sure. Chelsea, tomorrow, I would be surprised if they call school tomorrow. I'm just saying that. Remember, I am not a superintendent, have no such authority, and I'm glad I don't. Although there could be some school districts west of US 131 in the snow belt that might. I could see that maybe. But Chelsea, I think you're probably going to I would cram for that test tomorrow. Joanne, hello to you. Yeah, going to be cold for you. Jonathan in Hudsonville. Good to see you again. Thanks for being here, Jonathan. Appreciate it. Courtney, how much lake effect Friday, Saturday for Van Buren and Cass? I would say it's going to be mitigated somewhat by the fact that it's going to be very cold. And so it's not going to be conducive for a lot of lake effect snow. However, I think there still could be a few inches. That's all I can give you right now. I don't think it's going to be heavy duty, Courtney, but stay with us on that. Because again, it can get so cold that, for example, it brings it just, for lack of a better way of saying it, it just messes up the dynamics that go into what would be, let's say, a favorable lake effect situation. So, Courtney, I think over that period you're talking about, Friday, Saturday, I think the bigger threat is going to be from the very cold air, not from the lake effect snow. Now, late tonight through tomorrow morning, the biggest threat is going to be from snow and blowing snow. All right, Amber, good evening to you. And Martin, hello. Kathy, hello to you. Do we have any idea when winter will be done? Well, usually sometime in April or May or June. That's about all I can tell you right now. Wilson, weather outside is frightful, but the fire is delightful. Love it. Wilson, I hope everybody has some kind of way to stay warm. That's for sure. Dawn, heated blanket ready to go. There you go. That's one of them. April, good evening to you. Good question. When are we going to get out of this miserable cold? Well, I'll tell you what. We'll get out of the miserable cold, let's say, the miserable stuff next Tuesday. Okay? It'll be cold, but it won't be miserable. I would say next Tuesday. But between now and then, tomorrow, and then particularly Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, it's going to be what I would consider to be miserably cold. Thanks for the share, Mike. Appreciate it. Evelyn, happy Wednesday to you, too. Good luck with staying warm there. John in Manistee got an extra 5 inches of snow today, and your high for the day, 24 degrees. Thanks for that weather report. 5 inches of snow today. David, hello to you. Thank you so much. Mike, hey, haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you from over there on the east side of the state. You're going to get frosty cold there too. Hello to you, Isis, leaving for a warm vacation destination on Monday. Oh, then you should just go outside and I say this totally in jest. Feel the uber cold so that when you get down to your warm destination, you'll know what you're missing there. John Paul, thanks for being here. Looks like that snowstorm may hit Michigan, especially by Detroit. If you're talking about, the big whopper of a storm that's going to be moving up through the Tennessee Valley, Colin and I were talking about this in the weather office there right before before he left for the day. There is some model suggestions that it might turn a little bit more north. And if it does, then maybe brushing something like Detroit. We need to say that to say we need it to stay south, right, John Paul? Trisha, hello to you. Loving the information. Thanks so much, Melissa. A snow day for Northview in GR. Okay, I don't know about that, but okay. Joanne, only January, so it'll be a while. That's for sure. Shannon, hello. Brent and Battle Creek. We're looking at maybe a couple of inches of accumulation there. So let me show you what's going on. Let's get to it before people start getting mad at me for not going on. It's a weather alert day for tomorrow, but also it's a weather alert day for Friday and Saturday. Tomorrow's was a bit, iffy in the sense that, but are we looking at wanting to make people aware of the potential that is there for a snowy and perhaps hazardous commute tomorrow morning because of not only snow, but blowing snow? Yes. Friday, Saturday, which I don't have on this particular graphic. We'll deal with Friday and Saturday after we get through tomorrow morning's situation there, or tomorrow's situation. So we'll have weather alert days on Friday and Saturday too for the cold. But this first one is for some snow. Here's the latest with the winter weather advisory. Now notice, remember, this is important to remember when you see these advisory or warning maps, is that West Michigan partially sits on two areas of warning decision-making of two different weather offices. I made that convoluted. We have two weather offices, basically. One in Grand Rapids, National Weather Service offices. One in Grand Rapids. And the jurisdiction, if you will, or the authority or the responsibility for issuing any kind of advisories from that office extend down to Van Buren, Kalamazoo, Jackson, and Calhoun counties, okay? Northward. South of that, which would be, of course, our border counties with Indiana, Berrien, Cass, St. Joe Branch, those fall under the jurisdiction of the National Weather Service in northern Indiana, which is literally in a cornfield in Syracuse, Indiana. Look it up on the map. All right, so decision-making comes from two different offices. And so in this particular case, the office in Grand Rapids is determined that a winter weather advisory is justified for the counties that you see there shaded in purple. And at this point in time, to this point in time anyway, the National Weather Service office out of northern Indiana does not feel that it is justified for the counties Berrien, Cass, Branch, and St. Joe. So that's what we've got going on. This goes until 7 o'clock Thursday evening, 2 to 5 inches of snow. Here's what we have. We have system snow going on. This is a clipper that's moving through, yet another one. And that's going to give us an area-wide couple of inches, I think. That's why if you're talking about, well, what about Battle Creek, or what about Coldwater, what about Charlotte, what about Lansing? An inch or two, I think, out of this. But then the closer you get to the lake, you're going to get a little enhancement, a little boost, if you will, a little juice that's going to be coming from Lake Michigan. And so the higher amounts will likely be in the snow belt, which, as you know, is along and west of US 131. So that's where it'll be on the higher side. So that's what I'm thinking of. And that range, by the way, is per the National Weather Service in Grand Rapids. Wind gusts to 35 miles per hour. We'll see a lot of 15 to 25 mile per hour winds with occasional gusts to 30 to 35. What's that going to do? It's going to be blowing that snow around. This is going to be out of the west-southwest. So once again, I think that our north-south roads, hey, did that not come to pass on Monday or what? Our north-south roads, I-196, Blue Star Highway, US 131, those are the biggies. But then also you have the stretch of M40 between Allegan, certainly up to Hamilton and Holland. There's a lot of north-south movement there. So what you have there, especially in farm country where you don't have trees to break the wind, you have that blowing snow whipping across the highway. and not only causing visibility issues, 100-car pileup Monday on I-196, right in the middle of that area. A 15-car pileup on US 131, northwest Maine in Kalamazoo County, again, right in that target zone there. That I think we're going to see. Will it be to the level that what we saw on Monday? I don't think so, but it is going to be there. That hazard will be there. Now, currently, visibility is great. You know, at 6 o'clock, if you watch me on News Channel 3, tracking a pocket of heavy snow that went around Kent County, Grand Rapids, then over toward Ionia County, southern Ionia County to Lake Odessa. Well, that's gone now. And as you see, our visibility is great. Remember, 10 miles is perfect. It does look to be down in Holland a bit, but everybody else is looking good. So right now we're looking good, but that's about to change. You see already we got snow moving in, right? Snow showers moving in. That's why that Holland report, by the way, coming in, there you see the snow on the radar there. So likely right now in Allegan, I don't have the Allegan camera ready right now, but in Allegan, US 131 there between Kalamazoo and let's say Wayland Door exit, probably about to get some heavier snow. I'm going to zoom this out because I want to show you what we got coming in here. You can see that darker blue. When you see that on the radar, that's where the snow is heavier. And so that band of deep blue that goes north of Chicago, out over the lake, and then north of Chicago into southern Wisconsin, that's going to be moving across. And I want to pick up on that on our hour-by-hour forecast. And you can see that our forecast model here shows that by 11 o'clock, that is going to be kicking across West Michigan. I have to tell you, this doesn't look especially impressive, but the timing, notice it's going to, between 11 o'clock, we're going to go to midnight, then I'm going to run it up to about 7. I want you to watch. This is going to be scooting out pretty fast. Okay, there it goes. See you later. By 6 a.m., this is not only out of West Michigan, it looks like the brunt of it is even out of the country. It's in Canada. Hello, Ontario. But could leave behind a couple of 3 inches, maybe up to 5 or 6 with a little lake enhancement. So for the morning commute, there may not be necessarily anything coming down of substance or heavy, but there's going to be some snow blowing around. And that's what I think could be causing a problem. And then colder air is going to come in. Did you see that? We started off at about 16, 17 degrees, and you think, oh, by lunchtime, we're probably warming up, right? Nope, we're not. We're going to be in the upper teens, and we stay in the upper teens with another round of some snow showers starting to move through on Thursday. And that, by the way, is going to be right ahead of some of that uber cold air that's going to be bringing on the next weather story, which is going to be the cold air. And yeah, look at that. I am not missing a digit on Friday and Saturday. So here's what's going to happen. Listen up for this. Friday morning, Friday evening, we're going to be hanging out in the upper teens to around 20 degrees. I would say around 18. And then that cold front is going to be coming through here, dropping temperatures in a hurry between about 8 o'clock, 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow night and midnight. Certainly by 8 a.m. Friday, we're looking at temperatures falling from maybe in the upper teens to around 20 to about 0. And that 6 that you see there on Friday, I think that's way too, that's not low enough. But we'll leave it there for now. So you get the gist of it here. That Thursday, it's going to be colder Thursday than it was today. Today we were in the upper 20s. Tomorrow, Thursday, we're going to be hanging out in the upper teens to around 20 at max. That 22 is probably too friendly, too high. And then remember this, between late tomorrow night, about this time that we'll be on Facebook Live tomorrow night, and midnight, the temps are going to start falling like a rock. And by the time we get to sunrise on Friday, we're looking at a temperature that's probably going to be around 0. And we're going to be hanging around 0 to 5 degrees all day Friday. That, by the way, is going to be coming with a northwest wind that in the morning to early afternoon is going to be up to around 15 to 20. That will give us wind chills easily in the neighborhood of minus 10 to minus 15 degrees. Winds go calm Friday. And then Saturday morning, we're looking at an apparent temperature or an air temperature around minus 10. And there could be some areas in rural zones that we could be about minus 15. And let me read to you a little bit from the National Weather Service forecast discussion here, because I think this is very interesting here. This came out earlier today regarding the very cold temperatures here. Let's see. Lows will continue to trend below zero Friday morning. Those temps, along with northwest winds and wind chills as low as minus 25 are possible. All right. And then lows on Saturday away from the lake could drop to minus 20 or even colder. Minus 20 or even colder. So National Weather Service saying this Saturday morning could show some of the coldest temperatures we've had in about 6 years. Just to give you an idea of what we're looking at. So that's some of that uber cold that we're talking about. So again, we have two threats for 3 weather alert days. Tomorrow's a weather alert day for the threat for some blowing snow and a little bit of accumulating snow that could make for a problematic morning commute. And then the colder air arrives about this time tomorrow night, and by Friday morning, uber cold that will be with us Friday and Saturday morning, dangerously cold. And really all day Friday, all day Saturday, and Sunday morning even, dangerously cold. And like I said, I would not say that. I know what that word means. I don't pull it out. Nobody does, unless the situation is very intense. In fact, here you go, extreme cold watch. I thought we were going from here to the 7 day. I forgot I threw one more graphic in there. Extreme cold watch for wind chills as cold as minus 25. This goes from right after midnight tomorrow night through Saturday morning. Would not be surprised to see that eventually extended. Looking at some guidance here. Would not be surprised to even see that extended to Sunday morning, though I can see our temps will moderate a little bit. But when we talk about moderating temperatures, I'm talking about instead of a high of around 5 to 10, we're talking about a high of 15. Still very cold, but not extreme. So we have this extreme cold watch. But that will not kick in for another 27, 28 hours. All right, let's go to the 7 day, see if we get some relief. I know everybody's saying, when are we going to get out of this? Well, to some degree next Tuesday. Okay, to some degree next Tuesday. We will be warming up a little bit. But I will say this, you know what I feel like days 8, 9, 10 on the extended, it's like we have to wait and see. But right now, we only take suggestions on our longer range model. And right now, the suggestion is that we're going to be back to the frozone, if you will, calling on the Incredibles there, back to the Arctic zone here for the end of the month, which would be about 8, 9, 10 days out, a week from tomorrow, a week from Thursday, a week from Friday. In other words, not much rest for the cold and snowy weary. I know I missed a lot there. Sorry about that in the comments, but at least there's a lot of weather to handle here. So I hope that this was helpful. As you see on the 7 day forecast, remember we have 3 back-to-back weather alert days. I don't like having back-to-back weather alert days. But in this particular case, I think it's warranted. We were going to do one for Friday, Saturday, just because of the brutal cold and the dangerous cold for Friday and Saturday. And then we added Thursday because of the potential. Man, we've had some really nasty morning commutes, right? Monday was ridiculously bad, and this morning was pretty bad. Not as bad as Monday. Tomorrow morning, I don't think will be as bad as Monday, but we can't hold that up for our benchmark for everything. That's a pretty low bar. But I do think that we're going to have some snow and blowing snow. There could be some slippery spots. And so we want you to be weather aware. And that's why we issue a weather alert day for tomorrow. And then, of course, Friday, Saturday for the very cold air. But as you can see on the 7 day, it does stay very cold all the way through the middle of next week. We might get a little relief in about the 7 or 8 or 9 day time frame. But then 9 to 10 days out, it looks like we're going to have another shot of Arctic air that would take us to the end of the month. But hey, if you're weary, then guess what? Look at this. We're only 10 days away from the end of January. I guess that's all we can hang on to if you're tired of it. All right, everybody. Like I said, I apologize for not doing the roll call. You know how much I like talking to you, and so I apologize for not handling your question and saying hello to everybody. But I'm going to skate on out of here. We had a lot of weather to cover this time, and I appreciate you being here and being patient with me on that too. I got 9:26 on the clock right now, and so that means that in 34 minutes I'll be live with an update. But you've got the inside track right here on YouTube and on Facebook. But I'll be live with an update at 10 on Arc West Michigan, live at 11 on the Mothership News Channel 3. Jeff Porter will be here tomorrow morning, 4:30 to 9 a.m. Must-see TV. We'll have traffic reports. We'll have radar reports. We'll have an update on the uber cold that's going to be coming in about 27, 28 hours when it arrives here. That's all tomorrow morning from 4:30 to 9 a.m. with Jeff. He's got you again at noon. I'm back tomorrow for another helping at 5:30, and 6. By the way, don't forget, in the meantime, I'm on Facebook, WWMT's Keith Thompson with weather updates, X, Instagram, YouTube, and Threads. All right, so at Weatherman Keith, the @ sign, Weatherman Keith, all lowercase, all one word. Don't forget our free weather app. I mean, this is when it comes in handy. I mean, yeah, it's great to have in June when we have like an area of high pressure sitting overhead and it's sunny and 75 every day. But this is when it really is useful, because you not only track snow on there for tomorrow morning, but you can also track those temperatures and the wind chills and any advisories. And the kicker, it's free. WWMT Weather and your app store are on Google Play. And our website, wwmt.com/weather. We also try to keep you up to speed on our webpage just in general. All right, everybody, I think I covered all the bases there. Thank you so much for being here, being patient with me. I will be live in 33 minutes on Arc West, Michigan, an hour 33 on the mothership. Please be careful out there tomorrow. Like I said, measuring it by Monday's bad situation weather-wise, it's not going to be that bad, but I do think it means you need to make sure, just give yourself right now, just tell yourself right now, I'm going to give myself an extra 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever, to make sure that you're not patient, that tomorrow's not going to be a day to be impatient on the roads. Stay safe so that I can see you again tomorrow night on News Channel, on our YouTube rather, and Facebook chats. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks again so much for being here and for chiming in, even though I didn't get to see your comments. I'll go back and look at them, and I do appreciate you very much. Good night.